Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back. Well, it's time for another garden tour. Stay tuned. Well, some of you may have noticed I didn't put out a garden tour last week. Well, there just wasn't enough that had changed, so there's a lot going on now. Why don't you come take a look? This would be week 4. Well, the strawberries are starting to peter out for the time being. These are ever-bearing, so they will bear fruit again. The lemon balm is starting to take off. Sadly, someone knocked over my little pot that had moss rose growing in it, which fell over there. So I kind of left it. We'll see if some of it sprouts up there. I did get some hot peppers planted in my hot pepper bed. Those are serranos. The Asiatic lily has just exploded with blooms. The jalapenos are getting bigger. We've got some little buds forming on a couple of these. The okra is getting a true leaf on it. The ground cherries. Now this one's been flowering for at least a week now. But the other one is finally starting to flower. There's a brand new asparagus. They don't know what time of year it is. The Cherokee tan pumpkin, the first one, is getting its second true leaf on it. Tomatillos! Look at the size of that one. We've also got a nice big tomatillo there. And it looks like another one starting there. Lots of flowers. Nice growth on these. First round of parsley is getting nice and big. I need to harvest this cilantro because it keeps trying to bolt. The peppermint is starting to take off. And so is the spearmint. My Alpine Strawberries are still going. They don't put out a lot. Just a little bit here and there. These are the last 3 pumpkins, Cherokee tan pumpkins, that I planted. And I think that one's the biggest of all of them. The scarlet runner beans have almost reached the top of this trellis. At least one of them. Or 2 of them, actually. And they're starting to put out flowers. Another Cherokee tan pumpkin, also one of the first ones I planted, and it's doing quite well. So we've got noodle beans on both sides of the trellis. My volunteer dill is getting pretty big there. No, it's not the last, I planted another round. But this lettuce is coming up nicely. It's ready to start harvesting some leaves. The dill I started from seed this year is getting big. Let's see. Let me get closer to it, you can kind of see it. These oregano are trying to take over the whole bed. I keep saying I'm going to cut them back. I really need to do that. The thyme is nice and green. So the sage is finally starting to grow. And so is the rosemary. And a couple days ago, I transplanted some lavender. Those are doing nicely. A lot of my corn didn't come up, so I replanted. And most of what I replanted is coming up. So these pepper plants are starting to flower, even though I've been very concerned about them because the broccoli has gotten so massive. And that way is south. And it puts a lot of shade there. We've got a nice good head that's ready to come out. I already took the main head off of that one. I might go ahead and pull that plant anyway. This is a Jimmy Nardelie pepper. And it is doing really well. Gets a lot of sun here. My onions are doing great. We got carrots coming up, and onions and carrots and onions and carrots. The peanuts have been looking stressed since I put them in there. My challenge tomatoes. My super beefsteak is doing great. We've got flowers. No fruit forming yet, but we've got lots of flowers. But my brandy wine, I accidentally broke the tip off when I was putting the second round of string in. It kind of pinched the top when I was adjusting the string and snapped it. It didn't snap it all the way off, so I put some tape around it, and it's still green, and it looks like it's growing, so I think it'll recover. I've got more big broccoli making shade for tomatoes and peppers and peanuts. I've trimmed back some of the bigger leaves that were causing more shade, and I'm hoping that the broccoli gets done soon. Now, most of the tomato plants that are not in the tomato challenge are actually doing better than the ones in the challenge. That get more light, go figure. And even though the pepper plants in between the broccolis are not getting much light, they are budding. Now, these are Wando peas, so they're shelling peas. They gotta get bigger. But these ones over here are snap peas. So we've been snacking on them a lot. And they're more than 6 feet tall, some of them. Some of my lettuce is getting huge. I had to pull 2 out because they were rotting in the stem, and I don't know why. So my lovely husband added some extra supports to my pea trellis because they were hanging way over. I put some bush beans in last week. That there, and that with 1 leaf left on it, is giant Siamese cucumbers. I'm thinking those can take over this trellis after the peas die out. Here's the black-seeded Simpson lettuce. It's huge! My other okra, that one is doing fine. It's getting a true leaf on it. The chamomile in the middle looks pretty happy. Peppers are putting out buds, some of them. Beets are getting bigger. The radishes, I harvested a couple of them already. We got zucchini. Finally, I got 2 zucchini that came up. The sunflowers are finally starting to outgrow the beans. The new oregano is doing all right. Cinnamon basil's greening up again. My cherry tomatoes are growing quite nicely. And that's my other brandy wine. Also doing better than the other one. I have purple potted pole beans coming up 4 of these tomatoes. And they're starting to wrap around the tomatoes. You can see that one wrapping around there. The yellow crookneck squash is looking a little yellow. I should probably fertilize. Peppers are doing fine. Another chamomile. I added some more basil over here. I put my last purple basils. I have lots of little tomatoes. But this is a yellow pear. And I have a wonderful little brandy wine. Some super sweet 100 hybrid tomatoes. And some sweetie tomatoes. We have Madhu Ross melons on this side. Rich Sweetness 132 melons on this side. My potatoes are getting yellow. And I don't know why. Some of them. All of them have at least some yellow in there somewhere. Those ones are mostly green, but there's still a little bit of yellow in there. Well, that's it for the tour, and just in time, too. I feel a couple sprinkles. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and remember, life's an adventure. Thanks for joining me in mine. God bless.